My friend, I need you to listen closely, because what I'm about to share isn't just another motivational message. This is a prophetic warning, a divine announcement, and a personal call straight to your spirit. Something powerful, something holy is about to break into your life on the 1st of September 2025. And hear me clearly, this force isn't coming to destroy you. It's coming to refine you, to reposition you, and to ignite the mission God has placed inside of you since before you were even born. Think about that for a moment. How often have you felt like life has been building towards something? Like every hardship, every delay, every battle you fought wasn't random, but preparing you for a moment you couldn't quite see yet. That's exactly where you are right now. The 1st of September 2025 isn't just another date on the calendar, it's a divine marker, a line in the sand where your old self ends and the new season begins. This isn't a time to run, it's not a time to hide. It's a time to stand firm, to be ready, and to surrender. Because when God moves, He doesn't move gently. He shakes the very foundations of who you are so He can rebuild you stronger, clearer, and more alive than ever before. And yes, that shaking can feel dangerous. It can feel unsettling, but it's not meant to destroy, it's meant to transform. Let me ask you, have you ever held on to parts of yourself that you knew didn't belong anymore? Old habits, toxic relationships, limiting beliefs. Sometimes we cling to them because they feel safe. But safety can also be a prison, and what God is sending on that day is not safety, it's freedom. The kind of freedom that burns away fear, breaks chains of doubt, and removes the weight of mistakes you've carried for far too long. Picture a storm forming on the horizon. The wind is fierce, the sky dark, and everything in you says to brace for destruction. But here's the truth you've chosen. One were built for this storm. It's not here to break you, it's here to forge you. Like fire purifying gold, like a seed that must split open before it can grow, you are about to undergo a holy transformation. God's force will sweep through your life, not to leave you in ashes, but to raise you into purpose. This is why you can't take this lightly. The 1st of September 2025 is not a random date. Heaven has marked it. The enemy knows it, and that's why the pressure on your life has felt heavier lately. The resistance you've been facing, the whispers telling you that you're not ready, those are confirmations that you are on the edge of breakthrough, because the enemy only attacks what threatens him, and you, chosen one, are a direct threat to the darkness. So let me speak to you. Get ready, stand tall, let go of what no longer serves you. God has chosen you for this moment, and nothing, no fear, no past mistake, no voice of doubt can stop what He has ordained. You may feel unworthy, you may feel small, but remember this, God doesn't choose the qualified, He qualifies the chosen, and that's you. Think of Moses, who doubted his voice, yet God used him to lead a nation. Think of Esther, who feared her position, yet she saved her people. Think of David, a shepherd boy, who faced a giant with nothing but a sling. The world saw weakness, but God saw victory. That same God is about to move in your life. The 1st of September 2025 is your doorway. Revelation 3:8 says, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. That's your promise. That door is yours to step through, but you must choose to walk by faith, not fear. On the other side is not just change, it's destiny. Now here's where I need you to pause for a moment. If this is already stirring something deep inside your spirit, if you feel that fire rising as I'm speaking, I want you to drop a 777 the comments right now. That number is not random. It represents divine completion. It's your declaration to heaven that you're ready, that you're aligning with God's timing. that you're stepping into this new season. And while you're here, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, because you are not alone in this. Thousands of chosen ones around the world are preparing for this same shift. Together, we are a movement, a family walking toward the purpose God has written over our lives. When you engage, when you connect, you're not just clicking buttons, you're signaling to the universe and to heaven itself, I am ready, I am chosen. I will not miss this moment. So let me ask you again, are you ready? Are you willing to let go of the old, to step into the unknown, to trust God, even when you don't see the full picture? Because on the 1st of September 2025, whether you feel prepared or not, that force is coming. And if you surrender to it, it won't just change your life, it will change generations after you. Stay with me, because this is only the beginning. What's coming next is bigger than you think, and I don't want you to miss a single part of it. Now let's go deeper into this force that is coming into your life. Many people hear the word force and immediately think of danger, threat, or destruction. But I need you to understand, this is not the kind of force the world fears. This is not a weapon of the enemy, not a storm meant to crush you. This is a holy fire, a surge of divine energy. And when it arrives, it is going to burn away everything that has been holding you back. Your fear, your doubt, the weight of mistakes you've carried for too long. Think about fire for a moment. Fire has two sides. It can destroy, but it can also refine. Gold isn't pure until it goes through the fire. Steel isn't strong until it has been heated and shaped in the flame. And just like that, your spirit cannot step into its fullest potential without going through the refining fire of God. This holy fire isn't coming to destroy you, it's coming to purify you. It's coming to remove the layers of insecurity, the chains of regret, the voices of doubt that have whispered to you for years. Let me ask you, what fears have you been carrying? What old mistakes still whisper in your ear, telling you that you're not enough? This is the season where those lies will be silenced. God's holy fire is not here to shame you for your past. It's here to release you from it. Imagine the weight of years of guilt falling off your shoulders in a single moment. Imagine the doubts that made you hesitate suddenly burning away, leaving only courage. That's what this force is designed to do. You see, the enemy has tried to convince you that your past disqualifies you, that your struggles make you weak. But God sees it differently. He sees your scars as proof that you've survived. He sees your story as the very testimony that will inspire others. And this holy fire is going to reveal that truth. It's going to show you that you were never disqualified, you were being prepared. When this force comes, it will not only remove what doesn't belong, it will also re-establish your true identity. That's important to hear, because many of us spend years living under false labels, labels that people gave us, labels. We gave ourselves labels. The enemy stamped on our minds. Not good enough, too broken, too late. But God has always had a different name for you: chosen, beloved, anointed. This holy fire is going to strip away every false label and remind you of who you really are in Christ. Think of the prophet Isaiah. When he encountered God in a vision, he cried out, "I am unclean." But what happened next? A burning coal from the altar touched his lips, and instantly he was cleansed, restored, and commissioned to speak God's word. That's what this force is like. It is God's fire touching your life, cleansing what was unclean, and commissioning you to step into your calling. This is why you don't need to fear what's coming. The world may see fire and tremble, but you, chosen one, can stand with confidence. Because this fire is not judgment against you, it's empowerment for you. It's God saying, I am preparing you to carry my light into the world. Now imagine your life after this fire has done its work. Imagine walking without the weight of fear pressing down on your chest. Imagine making decisions without the cloud of doubt blocking your vision. Imagine speaking words that carry power because they come from a place of freedom, not fear. That's what God wants for you. Not a life where you're constantly battling the shadows of your past, but a life that shines as a living testimony of His power. Your very existence, your story, your transformation will become proof to the people around you that God is real, that His power is alive, and that His love can change anyone. People won't just hear your words, they'll see your life. They'll notice the change in your presence. They'll sense the confidence in your voice, and they'll ask, "What happened to you?" And in that moment, your life becomes a sermon. Your story becomes a testimony. You don't even have to preach, it will be undeniable that God has touched you. I want you to picture this clearly, your life as a beacon, a lighthouse standing firm on the shore. Ships lost in the darkness will look to you and find direction. People trapped in despair will see your light and realize there is hope. That's what happens when God's holy fire burns away the chains of fear and doubt. You shine. So let me ask you again, are you ready for this refining fire? Are you willing to let it burn away the things that no longer serve you? Because the truth is, you can't carry both the old and the new. You can't hold on to chains and expect to run freely into your destiny. The holy fire of God is not a threat, it's a gift. But you have to let it do its work. And here's something personal. I've been through my own seasons of fire. There were moments when it felt unbearable, when I thought God was stripping too much away. But looking back, I see that it was the fire that gave me strength. It was the refining process that revealed who I truly was. Without it, I would still be bound by fear, still silenced by doubt. Maybe you've had similar moments, seasons where everything you depended on seemed to be taken away. Could it be that God was already preparing you for this holy fire, teaching you to trust Him, so you'd be ready for what's coming? This is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of the chapter you were created for. On the 1st of September 2025, that holy fire will ignite in your life. And when it does, you won't just feel lighter, you'll feel alive. You'll know deep down that God has set you apart for something greater. So don't run from the fire, don't fear it, embrace it, because it's not here to destroy you, it's here to reveal you. And once the fire has done its work, you will rise not as a victim of your past, but as a living testimony of God's power, ready to walk in your true identity as His chosen one. Let's talk about why this force feels so dangerous. Because if we're honest, when we hear the word change, something inside of us resists. Change isn't comfortable. Transformation always carries a weight. It shakes the very foundation of who we are, and it demands something from us that we don't always want to give: our courage, our faith, and our willingness to let go of the old. See, that's why this coming shift feels dangerous. Not because it's meant to harm you, but because it will require you to release parts of yourself you've held on to for years. Think about it: the habits you've clung to, the lies you've believed, the identities you've built around fear or failure. They don't belong in the next chapter of your life. And yet letting them go feels like losing a piece of yourself. That's the danger. It's the pruning process, and pruning always cuts. Jesus said in John 15 that every branch that bears fruit must still be pruned so it can bear more fruit. That means even the parts of your life that seem good, even the routines that feel safe, may need to be trimmed back so that something greater can grow. And doesn't that feel risky? Doesn't that feel dangerous? Because pruning means surrender. It means trusting the gardener's hand, even when his shears sting. Let me give you an image. Imagine carrying around an old backpack filled with heavy rocks. You've gotten used to the weight, so much so that you hardly notice how much it's slowing you down. Then God comes and says, If you want to climb this mountain I've set before you, you've got to drop the bag. But what happens? You hesitate. Because even though the bag is heavy, it's familiar. You know its weight. And the idea of walking without it feels strange. That's what transformation is like. It feels dangerous because it asks you to let go of what is familiar in order to step into what is greater. Ask yourself this: what are you still carrying that you know God has been asking you to release? Maybe it's a toxic relationship that keeps pulling you back. Maybe it's a belief that you're unworthy, a voice that tells you you'll never be enough. Maybe it's the comfort of small thinking, settling for less, because big dreams feel too risky. Whatever it is, this force is coming to cut it away. And yes, that feels dangerous, but it's also necessary. Think of the blacksmith's forge. The metal doesn't become strong until it is hammered, shaped, and put through fire. It's an intense process, but without it, the blade would never be ready for battle. That's exactly what God is doing in you. The trials, the pressure, the discomfort, it's not random. It's the shaping, it's the forging. It's God preparing you to carry the weight of your destiny. And sometimes that preparation hurts. But here's the truth: every chosen one before you has walked through this. Moses doubted himself. Esther feared for her life. Jeremiah felt too young and unqualified. Each of them faced the danger of transformation, the call to leave behind the life they knew in order to step into the life God had for them. And each of them discovered that what felt like danger was actually destiny. So why does this feel so heavy right now? Because God isn't just tweaking small details. He's not giving you a gentle push. He's shaking the foundation. He's removing what doesn't belong, and that's not always easy to face. It takes courage to admit that the old ways don't serve you anymore. It takes faith to believe that what God has ahead is worth the pain of letting go. Maybe you've noticed this already. Maybe there are people drifting away from your life, opportunities closing, or old habits suddenly feeling empty. That's not a coincidence. That's pruning. That's God preparing you. And the danger isn't that you'll lose something, it's that you'll cling to what should have been released and miss what God is trying to give you. I know it's not easy. I've been there too, holding on to things God was clearly asking me to release, thinking that I couldn't survive without them. And when I finally let go, yes, it hurt. Yes, it felt uncertain. But on the other side, I found freedom. On the other side, I found strength I didn't know I had. And I promise you, the same will be true for you. So here's the warning and the encouragement. This transformation will demand your surrender. You can't bring the old into the new. You can't walk into the 1st of September 2025 with chains around your ankles and expect to run free. The danger is real, not because God wants to harm you, but because you must choose to trust Him in letting go. Think of a seed again. Safe in the soil, hidden, protected. But for it to grow, it has to break open. That breaking is dangerous. It feels like the end. But it's not the end. It's the beginning. And that's exactly what this holy fire will do in you. It will break you open, not to destroy you, but to release the life, the calling, the destiny God planted inside you from the very start. So don't run from the danger. Don't cling to the old. Step into the unknown with faith. Because what feels dangerous is actually your doorway to destiny. When we talk about transformation, sometimes the best way to understand it is through pictures, through images that God has woven into the fabric of creation. Because transformation is not just an idea, it's a process. And every process has a story. Let me give you the first picture. A seed buried deep in the soil. On the surface, it looks lifeless. It's hidden, it's dark, and it seems safe. But for that seed to grow, it has to break open. Think about that. The very thing that feels like death, the breaking, is actually the beginning of life. Without the breaking, there's no sprout, no roots, no tree. And that's exactly where many of you are right now. God has planted something inside you, but for it to rise, something in you has to crack open. Yes, it feels painful. Yes, it feels dangerous. But that breaking is not your end, it's your breakthrough. Now picture the blacksmith's forge. Raw metal on its own is hard, but it's not useful. It has no sharpness, no strength. So what does the blacksmith do? He places it in the fire. He heats it until it glows, then he hammers it, bends it, shapes it over and over. Every strike is loud, every moment intense, but the metal isn't being destroyed, it's becoming a sword. Friend, that's you. The heat you've felt, the pressure you've endured, the blows life has delivered, they weren't random. They were the hammer of the master shaping you for battle. You are being forged into a weapon of light, a vessel that can withstand the fight ahead. And then there's the storm. Most people see storms as destructive winds tearing down waves, crashing hard. But chosen ones, storms don't come just to break. Sometimes storms come to clear the air. Sometimes storms come to uproot what's dead and make room for new growth. And sometimes storms are the very thing that push ships out of harbors and into their true course. The storm heading your way on the 1st of September 2025 is not here to sink you, it's here to launch you. You were not built to cower in the rain, you were built to rise in the wind. Think of a river, steady and calm until suddenly it swells, rushing with unstoppable force. That current doesn't ask permission. It carves its own path through rock and earth. That's what God's force is going to do to you. It will push past obstacles you thought were permanent. It will carve out new channels in your life, making a way where there was no way. You won't have to force the direction. The current of His Spirit will carry you forward. And yes, it will be strong, but it won't harm you. It will propel you. Or imagine a wave building in power as it approaches the shore. At first it looks threatening, like it will crush whatever stands in its way. But if you've ever watched a skilled surfer, you know the wave is not destruction, it's momentum. If you learn to ride it, the very wave that others fear becomes the thing that carries you farther than you could ever go on your own. That's how this holy surge will work in your life. What looks overwhelming is actually your opportunity to move with divine power. And then there is the lion. Picture it caged for years, pacing behind bars. It's strong, but its roar is stifled, its freedom stolen. Then one day the door is thrown open. The lion doesn't hesitate. It leaps, it runs, it reclaims its ground. That's you, chosen one. For too long you've been caged by fear, doubt, and limitation. But when God opens the door, when His fire breaks the chains, you will run free. Your roar will return. And the world will know you were never meant to be contained. Or think of a lighthouse on the edge of a violent sea. The storm rages, the waves crash, but the lighthouse doesn't move. Its light cuts through the darkness, guiding ships to safety. That's who you are becoming. The holy fire will not only strengthen you, it will make you a guide for others. People lost in confusion will see your light and find direction. You won't just survive the storm, you'll shine in it. And finally, imagine a mountain. Winds beat against it, rain falls, seasons change, but the mountain stands tall, unmoved. It endures. That's what this force is building in you, a resilience, a spiritual backbone that will not bend when life gets hard. The trials you faced are not proof of your weakness. They're proof that you are being established as a pillar, as a rock others can lean on. Do you see it now? Every image, the seed, the forge, the storm, the river, the wave, the lion, the lighthouse, the mountain, they all point to the same truth. Transformation is not destruction. It only feels dangerous because it demands breaking fire, pressure, and surrender. But in the end, it reveals the life, the strength, the freedom, and the purpose God has placed in you. So let me ask you, Are you willing to go through the breaking so that new life can rise? Are you willing to stand in the fire so your true strength can be revealed? Are you willing to face the storm, to ride the wave, to roar like the lion you were always meant to be? Because that's what this season demands. And if you say yes, if you trust the process, you won't come out weaker, you'll come out unstoppable. This is why the 1st of September 2025 is so significant. It's the day the seed cracks open, the day the forge glows hottest, the day the storm breaks, the river swells, the wave carries the cage, opens the light shines, the mountain stands. It's the day you stop being who you were and step into who you are meant to be. So don't fear the images God is showing you. Don't resist the metaphors of change. Embrace them, because each one is a promise that the danger of transformation is never meant for your destruction. It's meant for your destiny. Let's talk about the signs of preparation. Because before any great move of God, there are always signs. Many of you have already felt them, even if you didn't fully understand what they meant. Maybe you've experienced a deep restlessness in your spirit, like something is shifting, like something is coming, but you can't quite put it into words. That restlessness is not random. It is the mark of heaven carving out space inside of you, so that when the holy force arrives, you will have room to carry it. Think about it. A vessel has to be empty before it can be filled. And for months, maybe even years, God has been emptying things out of your life. The disappointments, the delays, the closed doors, they weren't punishment. They were preparing. Every trial you faced, every battle that pushed you to the edge, every moment you felt like giving up, those were chisels in the hand of the Creator, shaping space in your spirit for this exact moment. Have you noticed how the things that once satisfied you no longer do? The conversations, the habits, the routines, they feel hollow now. That's not a sign that you're broken. That's a sign you're being prepared. God is weaning you off of temporary things so you'll hunger for the eternal. He's removing your taste for what's shallow so you'll crave what's deep. That hunger, that restlessness, is proof that He's about to fill you. And it all points to this, the 1st of September 2025. That is the day the shift becomes undeniable. On that day, you won't just feel restlessness, you'll feel power. You won't just sense emptiness, you'll sense fullness. A holy current will surge through your life, and with it will come clarity, so sharp it will cut through the noise of the world like a blade. Think about how noisy the world is right now. Opinions everywhere, confusion at every turn, distractions pulling you in 1,000 directions. But on that day, all of it will fade into the background. The questions that haunted you will have answers. The paths that looked blocked will suddenly open. You'll see with new eyes. That is not your imagination, that is divine clarity. I want you to imagine this. You're standing in a crowded marketplace. Everyone is shouting, chaos everywhere, and you can't hear your own thoughts. But then suddenly a voice calls your name clear, strong, cutting through every distraction. That's what God's voice will be like on the 1st of September 2025. No matter the noise around you, you'll know exactly where to go and exactly what to do. And let me tell you, this clarity is a gift. Because when you know who you are, when you know where you're going, the world can't sway you anymore. Fear loses its grip. Doubt loses its power. The lies of the enemy fall flat. That's why the preparation has felt so heavy. It's God making sure that when the force arrives, you're not distracted, you're not divided, you're ready. Maybe you're wondering, why did it have to be this hard? Why so many setbacks? But have you ever thought that the very struggles you resented were the training ground for what's coming? A soldier doesn't go to battle without boot camp. An athlete doesn't run the race without training. And a chosen one doesn't step into destiny without preparation. What you've been walking through has not been wasted. It has been sharpening you, building endurance in your spirit, and teaching you how to stand when the weight feels too heavy. I've felt this in my own life too. Seasons where I couldn't explain why I felt restless. Seasons where I prayed and it seemed like nothing was moving. Looking back now, I can see it was God stretching me, making room for what I couldn't yet see. Friend, maybe that's exactly what He's been doing with you. So if you've been restless, if you've been tested, if you've been wondering why life has felt so intense lately, I want you to hear this. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. Heaven has been carving out space in your soul because something holy is about to fill it. And on the 1st of September 2025, you will feel it rush in. Picture it like a rushing wind, filling a house like the day of Pentecost, when the Spirit fell on the disciples. They were waiting, they were praying, they were prepared, and then suddenly the wind came. That's what's about to happen to you. You've been waiting, you've been stretched, and suddenly the force will arrive. So don't mistake the signs. The restlessness is proof you're close. The trials are proof you're ready. And the clarity you're about to receive will guide you through this new season with confidence. Chosen one, this is why you can't give up now. You're closer than you think. The space has been carved, the vessel has been shaped, and the filling is about to come. On the 1st of September 2025, the noise will quiet, the fog will lift, and the fire of God will cut through it all. And when it does, you'll know, without a doubt, you were made for this. When this holy force comes, it will not just touch one part of you, it will realign every part of who you are. Spirit, mind, and body will come into harmony under the hand of God. You'll notice the shift immediately. Where your spirit once felt restless, it will find rhythm. Where your mind once spun in confusion, it will find clarity. And even your body will sense the change, moving with a new kind of strength, as though something inside of you has awakened. This is not just inspiration, it is recalibration. God is aligning every part of you for His purpose. And as this alignment happens, your very presence will change. People will notice even before you say a word. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll sense it. Something different, something holy. It's like a glow that cannot be hidden, a weight of authority that cannot be denied. You won't have to announce, "I've changed." The change will be visible. Your energy will shift, your voice will carry conviction, your steps will carry confidence. Think of Moses when he came down from Mount Sinai. Scripture says his face shone with the glory of God, so much so that people were afraid to come near him. That wasn't Moses trying to shine, it was the evidence of God's presence on him. That's what this force will do to you. You'll carry a light that doesn't come from effort, but from encounter. And that light will be undeniable. Now here's where it gets even more powerful. This transformation isn't just for you. The force that is entering your life is designed to ripple outward. Your words will no longer be empty, they'll carry weight. Your actions will no longer be routine, they'll shift atmospheres. Even your silence, your presence in a room will carry a peace and an authority that others can feel. Where there was despair, you'll bring hope. Where there was confusion, you'll bring clarity. Where there are chains, you'll bring freedom. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the tension before anyone spoke? The atmosphere heavy, charged with fear or conflict. Now imagine walking into that same room, and instead of absorbing the tension, your presence shifts it. People feel calmer, they breathe easier, they sense hope. That's what God is preparing to do through you. You will be a living carrier of His presence, and wherever you go, the atmosphere will respond. This is why you cannot underestimate the power of what's coming. It's not about flashy signs or titles. It's not about standing on a stage or holding a microphone. It's about your everyday life becoming a testimony. It's about conversations at work, carrying wisdom that cuts through confusion. It's about family dinners where your patience and love break generational cycles of anger. It's about strangers sensing peace when you walk by without even knowing your name. And yes, it will draw attention. Some people will be drawn to your light because they are desperate for hope. Others may resist it, unsettled by the change they see in you. That's okay. Not everyone will understand what God is doing. Some may even distance themselves because your transformation challenges the comfort of their old ways. But don't be discouraged. Remember, light always exposes what was hidden in darkness. And while some will shrink back, many will be set free because of what shines through you. Think of a lighthouse again. It doesn't try to chase every ship on the sea. It simply stands where it's placed and shines. And because it shines, ships find safety. That's your call. You don't have to force people to see the change. You just have to stand firm and let the light of God shine through your life. Those who need it will find it. This is the ripple effect of divine transformation. It doesn't stop with you. It moves through you, touching your family, your community, your workplace, even strangers you may never know. The hope you carry will break despair. The clarity you walk in will expose lies. The authority you speak with will dismantle chains of fear. That's the impact of being chosen. And here's the beauty. It won't feel like pressure. It won't feel like you're forcing yourself to live up to some impossible standard. It will feel natural because it's not you striving, it's God flowing through you. When your spirit, mind, and body are aligned with His will, the overflow will happen effortlessly. Rivers don't strain to flow. Flames don't struggle to burn. And once this holy force fills you, you won't have to push, you'll simply overflow. But let me ask you, are you ready for that kind of influence? Because it will change how people see you. It will change how they respond to you. And it will change how you see yourself. The insecurities, the doubts, the apologies you've made for being who you are, they'll fall away. You'll stand taller, speak stronger, and move bolder, not out of arrogance, but out of the confidence that comes from being aligned with the Creator. This is what the 1st of September 2025 represents. It's not just a date on the calendar. It's the day God flips the switch. It's the day your inner alignment becomes outer evidence. It's the day the glow can't be hidden, the authority can't be ignored, the ripple can't be stopped. Your life will no longer just be about surviving, it will be about transforming. You will be the living proof of what God can do through one willing heart. So don't downplay what's happening inside you. Don't ignore the signs. The restlessness, the trials, the hunger for more, they've all been leading to this. And soon the world around you will see what heaven has been preparing all along. You chosen one are about to carry a presence that shifts the atmosphere, a clarity that silences confusion, and a hope that breaks chains. That's the impact of this holy force, not just in you, but through you. Now let's talk about something that every chosen one must face, the discipline of surrender and pruning. Because the truth is, you cannot carry the new if you're still holding on to the old. You can't step into the fullness of destiny if your hands are gripping the very things that keep you small. And that's why this next season will demand something of you. It will demand that you let go. For some of you, that means letting go of doubt. You've been rehearsing the same lies in your mind for years. I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. I'll never measure up. Those words may have come from people in your past, but you've repeated them so often that they've become your inner voice. Friend, those doubts are chains. And if you try to carry them into the future God is preparing for you, they will drag you down. That's why this holy fire is coming to burn away the lies, so you can finally walk in truth. For others, it's about habits. Not just the obvious ones, but the subtle patterns you've grown comfortable with. Maybe it's procrastination, always putting off what God has told you to do. Maybe it's a distraction, spending hours numbing your soul with entertainment instead of feeding it with His Word. Maybe it's negativity, rehearsing worst-case scenarios instead of declaring God's promises. These habits feel small, but they're anchors, and you can't run into destiny with anchors on your feet. And let's be honest, sometimes the hardest part isn't the habits, it's the relationships. Some of you are surrounded by people who love the old version of you, the one who doubts, who compromises, who stays safe. And when God begins to shift you, those same people may resist it. They may try to pull you back into patterns He's already calling you out of. They may not understand your hunger, your discipline, your new boundaries. And that's where pruning comes in. Because if you're serious about stepping into your calling, you can't keep tying yourself to people who refuse to grow. Pruning is painful, but it's purposeful. Think of a gardener cutting back a branch. From the outside, it looks cruel, like he's wounding the tree. But the truth is, he's making room for more fruit. If he didn't cut, the tree would grow wild, tangled, and unproductive. In the same way, God is cutting away the branches in your life that aren't bearing fruit. It stings, yes. It feels like a loss, yes. But it's actually love, because He knows what you can't see, that greater fruit, greater strength, greater purpose is waiting on the other side of the cut. Ask yourself this: what is God asking you to release right now? Is it a friendship that drains your spirit more than it fills it? Is it a mindset that keeps you stuck in cycles of fear? Is it an old identity, the version of you that was shaped by trauma instead of truth? Whatever it is, this is the moment to surrender. Because if you don't, you'll risk clinging to dead branches when God is trying to grow new life. I'll be real with you. I've had seasons where pruning hurt. Times when God asked me to let go of opportunities I thought were the answer, only to find out later they would have distracted me from His true plan. Times when He closed doors I desperately wanted to open, and I didn't understand until months later that those doors were traps. And times when people I loved walked away, leaving me wondering what I did wrong. But now I see it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. God was pruning me, not to punish me, but to protect me. And that's what He's doing for you. The pruning you're experiencing is not proof that He's abandoned you. It's proof that He's preparing you. Every cut is a setup for new growth. Every no is making space for a greater yes. Every loss is clearing ground for abundance you can't yet see. So don't resist the pruning. Don't cling to the old. Trust the gardener's hand even when his shears feel sharp, because what he's removing today is nothing compared to what he's preparing for tomorrow. Think about Jesus' words in John 15. Every branch that does bear fruit, He prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. Did you catch that God prunes not just the dead branches, but even the fruitful ones? Which means if you're feeling the cut, it's not a sign of failure, it's a sign of potential. It means God sees fruit in you, and He's making room for more. So yes, surrender feels costly. Yes, letting go feels risky. But in the kingdom, the cost is always worth the harvest. And on the 1st of September 2025, when that force surges into your life, you'll understand why God asked you to lay certain things down. You'll see that every tear, every loss, every cut was preparation. You'll stand in new strength, new freedom, new clarity, and you'll know it was worth it. Chosen one, the pruning is not the end of you. It's the making of you. And if you're willing to let go of what no longer belongs, God will place in your hands something greater than you ever imagined. One of the greatest gifts God is about to release into your life is the gift of discernment. And let me tell you, this is not just intuition, not just a gut feeling. This is heaven's compass placed inside of you, guiding your steps when everything around you feels like a storm. Discernment is the ability to see through the noise, to recognize what is from God and what is not. And in this new season, chosen one, you will need it like never before. Think about how chaotic the world feels right now. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has advice. There are endless opportunities, countless doors, and sometimes you're left wondering, which one do I walk through? Which voice do I listen to? Which direction do I take? That confusion isn't an accident. It's one of the enemy's greatest weapons. But here's the truth. God is about to cut through that confusion with clarity so sharp you won't be able to miss it. On the 1st of September, 2025, you will begin to sense this discernment like never before. It will feel like a compass pointing north in the middle of a storm. While others are spinning in circles, you'll know exactly where to go. While others are caught in indecision, you'll move with confidence. And it won't be because you figured it all out. It will be because God's Spirit is whispering directly to your soul. You'll begin to recognize open doors for what they are, not just opportunities, but divine appointments. And just as importantly, you'll recognize closed doors as protection. Sometimes we cry over doors God shuts, thinking we've missed out. But with discernment, you'll see clearly if it's closed, it's because God knows something you don't. He's not punishing you, He's protecting you. This gift will also transform how you see people. You'll know who belongs in your journey and who doesn't. You'll sense who carries alignment with God's plan for your life and who is sent to distract or derail you. This doesn't mean you'll judge people harshly, but you'll carry wisdom to know the difference between those who are for you and those who are not. Have you ever looked back on a relationship or friendship and thought, if only I had known then what I know now? That's what discernment prevents. It gives you foresight instead of hindsight. It keeps you from wasting years on connections that don't carry your destiny. And in this season, God is fine-tuning your spirit so that you won't just react, you'll perceive. This clarity will affect your decisions in practical ways too. Some of you will sense when to step into a new opportunity and when to wait. Others will feel led to release projects, habits, or even financial decisions that no longer align with God's plan. And instead of wrestling in confusion, you'll have peace even if the choice looks difficult from the outside, because that's how discernment works. It brings peace in the middle of uncertainty. Let me give you an example. Think of Daniel in Babylon. Surrounded by pressure, temptation, and compromise, he had to make decisions that would define his faith. How did he know what to eat, what to say, what to pray? He carried discernment. He could distinguish between what was holy and what was defiled, between what was temporary and what was eternal. That same gift is being awakened in you. And here's why it matters. Discernment doesn't just protect you, it positions you. Every right decision moves you closer to destiny. Every step in alignment opens greater doors. And every moment you trust God's voice over the world's noise, you gain strength, confidence, and authority. But let's be honest, discernment will also cost you, because when you see clearly, you can no longer pretend you don't. You'll feel the nudge to walk away from things that once felt comfortable. You'll hear the Spirit whispering, "This is not for you." And you'll need the courage to obey even when it doesn't make sense to others. Some people won't understand your decisions. They may call you extreme, distant, or even prideful. But chosen one, remember this: clarity often looks like confusion to those who don't hear what you hear. So what does this mean for you? It means the season of wandering is over. The season of uncertainty is ending. You are stepping into a time where your yes will be yes and your no will be no. You'll no longer chase everything. You'll pursue the right things. You'll no longer hold on to everyone. You'll walk with the right ones. And you'll no longer question every step. You'll move forward with peace, knowing heaven is guiding your path. This is what makes the 1st of September 2025 so powerful. It's not just about a surge of energy or an emotional high. It's about divine clarity. It's about fog lifting. It's about God handing you a compass that points straight to your destiny. And when that compass is in your hand, no storm can shake you, no distraction can confuse you, and no enemy can derail you. Chosen one, this is the moment where your discernment becomes your greatest weapon. Trust it, honor it, and walk boldly into the direction God is pointing you. Because with that gift, you won't just survive the storm, you'll navigate it, rise above it, and step straight into the destiny God has written for you. Chosen one, let's talk about mission and influence. Because when God marks you, it's never just for you. The transformation that's coming on the 1st of September 2025 is not meant to stay locked inside your heart. It's meant to flow outward, shaping lives, shifting atmospheres, and building something that lasts for eternity. Your calling is not about chasing after recognition, applause, or worldly glory. It's about impact, eternal impact. When the force of God's Spirit collides with your life, you will feel a new pull, an urgency to lead, to heal, to build. And it won't be about standing in the spotlight. It will be about carrying the light into places of darkness and bringing hope where hope has died. Some of you will be called to lead with words. You'll open your mouth, and truth will pour out in ways that cut through lies and confusion. People will listen not because you're eloquent, but because your words will carry the weight of heaven. Others of you will be called to heal not only through prayer but through presence. Your compassion, your patience, your willingness to sit with the broken will become medicine for hurting souls. And some of you will be called to build not just businesses or ministries, but communities, families, legacies that stand as proof of God's faithfulness. This is what makes the 1st of September so significant. It's the shift from preparation to action. Everything before that day has been training, sharpening, pruning. But after that day, it will be about movement, about obedience, about putting your hand to the plow and refusing to look back. Think about Nehemiah rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. He wasn't the strongest or the wealthiest, but he carried a burden from God, and that burden turned into bold action. Despite opposition, ridicule, and attack, he kept building until the walls stood strong again. That's the kind of influence you're being called to. Not fragile influence that crumbles when criticized, but eternal impact that endures long after you're gone. Let me ask you, what is God calling you to build? What truth is He asking you to speak? What brokenness is He asking you to heal? Because the time of just waiting and wondering is coming to an end. The time to step into action is here, and you won't be walking into it empty-handed. God is equipping you with wisdom, with courage, with supernatural strength to do what He's placing before you. This doesn't mean the path will be easy. Leadership always carries weight. Healing always requires sacrifice. Building always demands perseverance. But remember, this isn't about striving for your own strength. This is about allowing God's Spirit to flow through you. When He calls you to speak, He will give you the words. When He calls you to heal, He will release His power through your presence. When He calls you to build, He will bring the resources, the people, and the opportunities you need. The question is not, are you strong enough? The question is, are you willing enough? Because God does not choose the qualified, He qualifies the chosen. If you feel unworthy, you're in good company. Moses doubted his voice, yet he delivered a nation. Esther feared her position, yet she saved her people. The disciples were fishermen and tax collectors, yet they carried the gospel across the world. What they all had in common was not perfection, but obedience. They said yes, and heaven moved through them. Chosen one, your eyes matter. Your eyes will shape destinies. Your eyes will ripple through families, through communities, through generations. And that's why the enemy has fought you so hard, because your influence is not small. Your mission is not temporary, it is eternal. After the 1st of September 2025, you will notice doors opening, opportunities to speak, to act, to step into places you never thought you'd stand. Don't hesitate. Don't shrink back. This is not the season to hide. This is the season to rise. When God opens the door, walk through it with faith. When He places the assignment in your hand, carry it with courage. When He asks you to move, don't second guess, just move. And remember this, your influence is not measured by numbers, but by obedience. Don't think that because you're not on a stage, your impact doesn't count. Sometimes the greatest influence happens in unseen moments. A word spoken to a child, a prayer whispered for a neighbor, an act of kindness that shifts someone's entire perspective. Eternity records what the world overlooks. So, chosen one, this is your moment. You are being called not to chase fame, but to carry fire. Not to seek applause, but to walk in authority. Not to collect trophies, but to build testimonies. And as you do, the ripple effect of your obedience will echo into eternity. This is the mission. This is the call. After the 1st of September 2025, it's not about waiting, it's about acting. God is raising you up to lead, to heal, to build. Step into it with faith, because the world is waiting for what only you carry. Chosen one, let's talk about identity and relationships. Two areas where the force of God's transformation will make the biggest shift. Because when you finally step into who you really are in Christ, you will no longer shrink back, no longer apologize, no longer downplay your gifts, your fire, or your calling just to make others comfortable. For too long, some of you have been dimming your light because you were afraid it was too bright for those around you. You've been apologizing for your dreams, second-guessing your vision, keeping your voice quiet when your spirit was roaring on the inside. But when the Spirit of God collides with your life on the 1st of September 2025, that hesitation will fall away. You will walk boldly in the identity of the chosen. You will own your calling, your authority, your anointing, not with arrogance but with confidence, rooted in God's truth. And here's the reality, you won't have to force anyone to notice. They will see it. Your presence will shift rooms. Your words will carry weight. The way you carry yourself will make people stop and wonder, what's different about them? That's the glory of God resting on your life. But with that shift comes a reality check. Not everyone will celebrate it. Some will be drawn to the light, hungry for the truth you carry. Others will distance themselves, unsettled by the change they see in you. And that's okay. Because part of stepping into your identity is realizing that not everyone is meant to walk with you in this season. Some relationships were only meant for the old version of you, the version that doubted, that compromised, that stayed small. When God elevates you, He also rearranges your circle. Think of Jesus. Crowds followed Him, but not everyone could stay close. Even among His disciples, there was an inner circle, Peter, James, and John. And when He stepped into the fullness of His mission, Judas revealed himself and left. If it happened to Jesus, why would it be any different for you? Elevation always exposes alignment. So don't be discouraged if some people pull away. Don't be shocked if others misunderstand the fire inside you. That's not rejection, it's refinement. God is removing what cannot go with you, so He can surround you with the right people, the ones who will sharpen you, support you, and walk with you into destiny. This means you will need to release the fear of being misunderstood. You will need to stop explaining yourself to everyone. Because the truth is, not everyone deserves access to your process. Some will see the fruit, but never understand the pruning. Some will see the glory, but never know the story, and that's fine. You don't owe anyone an apology for being who God made you to be. Instead, focus on the ones God is sending. Pay attention to the divine connections that will begin to appear: mentors who will speak wisdom into your life, partners who will help you build, friends who will pray with you instead of gossip about you. These are not coincidences. They are heaven-sent alignments designed to strengthen you for the road ahead. Ask yourself this: are you ready to let go of relationships that no longer serve your calling? Are you willing to embrace the discomfort of seeing some people walk away, trusting that God is bringing the right ones? Because this is what it means to walk boldly in identity. You can't cling to everyone and everything from the old season and still expect to step fully into the new. I'll be real with you, I've experienced this in my own life. When I began to take God's call seriously, some people who used to be close suddenly weren't comfortable around me anymore. My priorities shifted, my values changed, and without drama or conflict, the distance grew. At first it hurt, but then I realized God wasn't punishing me, He was protecting me. He was clearing space for new voices, new friendships, new alignments that would carry me further than I could have gone alone. And that's what He's doing for you. This isn't just about losing people. It's about gaining purpose. It's about walking boldly without apology. It's about knowing that your worth is not up for debate. God chose you. He anointed you. And if some can't handle that, let them go. Because the right ones will see you, celebrate you, and walk with you into destiny. So, chosen, one step forward without fear. Stop apologizing for your gifts. Stop shrinking your dreams. Stop trying to fit into circles that no longer fit your calling. Your identity is secure in Christ, and your relationships will align with that truth. Some will be drawn, some will walk away, but through it all, God is orchestrating your circle with precision. On the 1st of September 2025, you will feel the shift. You'll sense a boldness rising, a confidence you've never known, and a clarity about who belongs in your journey. And when it happens, remember, it's not just about who stays or who leaves. It's about who you are becoming, and the God who is arranging every detail to prepare you for impact. Chosen one, let's pause and remember something powerful. You are not the first person God has called into an assignment bigger than yourself. The story of Scripture is filled with men and women who were ordinary, weak, afraid, overlooked. But when the Spirit of God touched their lives, everything changed. Their stories are not just history, they are living testimonies, reminders of what God can do through a willing heart. And now those same truths apply to you. Look at Moses, a man who stuttered, who doubted his own ability to speak, yet God used him to confront Pharaoh and lead an entire nation out of slavery. Weakness did not disqualify him, it qualified him for God's strength. Or think of Esther, a young woman terrified of her position, but placed in the palace for such a time as this. Fear didn't define her, faith did, and because she obeyed her, people were saved. David was just a shepherd boy, forgotten in the fields, but God saw a king in him. When he faced Goliath, the world saw a boy with a sling. Heaven saw a warrior with victory already written. Daniel was thrown into a den of lions, yet he walked out unharmed because God's hand protected him. Jeremiah was called to speak truth to a world that didn't want to hear it. Paul was transformed in a single encounter on the road to Damascus. Jonah ran from God's call, but even in his disobedience, God's mercy pulled him back into purpose. Noah built an ark while the world laughed, but his obedience preserved a future, and the list continues. Nehemiah rebuilding the walls despite opposition, Hannah pouring out her soul in prayer and receiving the child she longed for, Elijah hearing the still small voice of God even in his weariness, Deborah rising with wisdom and courage to lead, Joseph going from pit to palace, and Gideon, who saw himself as weak yet with God's strength, led a small army to great victory. Why do these stories matter? Because they prove one thing: God never waits for perfection. He moves through willingness. And the same God who opened doors for them is opening doors for you. Revelation 3:8 declares, "I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut." That's not just a promise for the past, it's a living word for you right now. On the 1st of September 2025, that open door will stand before you, and no force on earth, no attack of the enemy, no voice of doubt will be able to close it. But you must also remember, chosen one, that open doors don't mean an absence of battle. Isaiah 5:4-17 assures us, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." It doesn't say the weapons won't form, it says they won't succeed. The enemy will try to whisper lies, stir opposition, or raise obstacles, but they will fall because God has declared victory over your life. That's why Paul reminds us in Ephesians 6:1-2 that our battle is not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces of darkness. This isn't about fighting people, it's about standing firm in the Spirit. And verse 17 gives us the weapon we need, the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God. That's why you cannot let go of His Word. It is your sword, your anchor, your compass in this season. And when you feel the weight of your calling, cling to Philippians 4:1-3. "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Not through your own effort, not through your own wisdom, but through Christ in you. When the burden feels heavy, remember Psalm 5:5-2. "Cast your cares on the Lord and He will sustain you." When the world feels loud and overwhelming, rest in Psalm 4:6-10. "Be still and know that I am God." There will be moments when you feel like you're running out of strength. That's when Isaiah 4:0-3-1 becomes your promise. "Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles." God is not calling you to crawl through this season. He's calling you to rise, to soar, to walk with the unshakable confidence that He is carrying you. And maybe you look at the obstacles ahead and think, "This mountain is too big. This dream is too impossible." But hear Jesus' words in Matthew 1:7-0. "If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move,' and it will move." Nothing will be impossible for you. That's not just a metaphor. That's the reality of faith. Mountains will move, giants will fall, doors will open. So what does this mean for you, chosen one? It means you are stepping into a legacy far greater than yourself. You are not walking a path untraveled. You are joining the great cloud of witnesses who trusted God against all odds and saw His glory revealed. And now it's your turn. The 1st of September 2025 is not just a date, it's your divine marker, your turning point. Just as God took shepherds, fishermen, prophets, and kings and turned them into vessels of eternal impact, He is taking you, your scars, your story, your faith, and shaping it into a testimony the world will see. Walk through the open door, pick up your sword, cast your cares, be still when He says, "Be still," and move mountains when He says, "Move." This is your season to rise. Chosen one, and nothing, no weapon, no fear, no doubt can stop what God has ordained. Chosen one. There is something extraordinary that God is about to release in you, a spark of divine creativity, a vision that doesn't come from your own imagination, but from the Creator Himself. On the 1st of September 2025, many of you will feel ideas flooding your mind, dreams resurfacing that you thought were buried, and projects stirring within your heart that carry heaven's fingerprints. This is not ordinary inspiration. It is a commissioning moment where God's Spirit breathes on you and ignites the creative force He placed inside you from the very beginning. Think of it like a spark catching flame. One small thought, one whisper from God, will turn into a vision that expands, grows, and begins to shape the world around you. These aren't just ideas for your own benefit. They are divine blueprints, heaven's designs for how your life is meant to impact others. Maybe it's a ministry you're called to birth, a business that reflects kingdom values, a song that carries healing, or a book that speaks life into broken hearts. Whatever form it takes, it will bear the mark of God. People will look at it and say, "That couldn't have come from human strength. That carries the breath of heaven." Picture it this way: your life is like a giant puzzle. For years you've been holding scattered pieces, some from seasons of struggle, others from seasons of victory. Some pieces never seem to fit, and maybe you've even asked God, "Why did I have to go through that? Why did I have to carry this?" But when His Spirit moves, suddenly the pieces begin to click into place. You'll see how your past pain was preparation, how your trials carved out wisdom, and how your victories became stepping stones. What once looked random will reveal itself as a masterpiece, every piece placed with precision by the hand of God. Or think of a symphony. Each instrument on its own might sound incomplete, even chaotic, but when the conductor raises his hand and every note comes together, something breathtaking emerges. That's what God is doing in your life. He's taking the fragments, the scattered notes, the seemingly unfinished parts of your story, and He's weaving them into a song of destiny. And when you hear it, when you see the vision come alive, you'll know this wasn't your doing. This was always the Creator's design. This is where the divine commissioning comes in. God is not just giving you vision for the sake of vision. He is sending you. He is equipping you. You are not wandering aimlessly anymore. You are being released on assignment. Some of you have been in a season of waiting, almost like you've been standing at the starting line, but the race hasn't begun. The 1st of September, 2025 is the signal. The gun goes off, the race begins. God is saying, now is the time. Step into the role I prepared for you. And this commissioning is not light, it carries weight. To be commissioned by heaven means you represent heaven. It means your actions, your words, your projects, your very presence point people back to the one who sent you. You are not just a dreamer, you are a builder. You are not just someone with ideas. You are a vessel of execution. When God sends you, He supplies everything you need: resources, people, strength, wisdom. Your part is to say yes, and to move forward in faith. Let me ask you this: have you been holding back on something God told you to build? Have you silenced an idea because you thought it was too big, too risky, or too impossible? If so, this is your confirmation. That dream wasn't random. It was a deposit from heaven. God planted it in you because He intends to bring it to life through you. Don't underestimate what He can do with one obedient heart. I know this because I've seen it. Time and again, those who dared to act on God-given vision have shifted entire communities, nations, even generations. Noah building an ark looked foolish until the rain came. Nehemiah rebuilding Jerusalem's walls seemed impossible until they stood complete. Your assignment might not look like theirs, but it carries the same power, the power to shift atmospheres and create something that leaves an eternal impact. Chosen one, you are being commissioned. This is not about busyness or striving. It's about purposeful action aligned with heaven. No more wandering, no more second-guessing. The Creator Himself is sending you out with vision, with creativity, with a divine mandate. And when you step into it, you will realize that everything in your life has been leading to this moment. So rise up, pick up the blueprint God has placed in your spirit. Start building, start creating, start speaking. Start moving, because the world is waiting for what God has placed inside you. This is not just about you, it's about the lives your obedience will touch, the chains your words will break, the hope your work will bring. On the 1st of September 2025, the commissioning became real. Heaven is releasing you, chosen one, not to wander but to fulfill your mission. Chosen one of the greatest gifts God is preparing to release into your life is peace. Not the fragile peace the world offers, a peace that disappears when storms rise, but the kind of peace that acts as an anchor in the middle of chaos. On the 1st of September 2025, many of you will feel this peace settle over you like a mantle. It will not come because everything around you is calm. It will come because the presence of God within you is unshakable. Picture a ship at sea in the middle of a storm. The waves crash, the wind howls, the sky is dark, and yet the ship remains steady, not because the storm has ended, but because its anchor is secure. That's the peace God is placing inside of you. It's not about avoiding the storm, it's about knowing that no matter how violent the storm gets, you are held firmly in place by the one who never lets go. Think also of a mountain standing tall against the winds. The seasons change: snow in winter, storms in spring, heat in summer, but the mountain does not move. That's the kind of resilience the Spirit of God is building into your life. He's making you like a tree planted by streams of water, roots running deep, branches reaching high, fruit coming in due season. No matter what shakes around you, you will remain strong because your foundation is in Him. But with this peace and resilience comes something else, a realignment of priorities. For too long, many of us have been consumed by the noise of the world. We've been pulled in 100 directions, distracted by demands, worries, and the endless noise of culture. But when God's peace settles in your heart, it acts like a filter. Suddenly, the noise that once overwhelmed you fades into the background and clarity rises. You begin to see what truly matters. On the 1st of September 2025, you will feel this clarity like never before. Things that once felt urgent will lose their hold. Opinions that once controlled you will no longer have power. Your heart will refocus on what God is doing, not what the world is shouting. And in that moment you will realize peace isn't passive. Peace is power. It's the strength to stay still when the enemy wants you to panic. It's the focus to pursue God's plan when distractions are screaming for your attention. Let me ask you this: what noise has been keeping you from hearing God clearly? Is it the noise of fear, the pressure of comparison, the weight of responsibilities that God never asked you to carry? Peace doesn't come by ignoring reality. It comes by surrendering it. When you cast your cares onto Him, you make room for His peace to flood your heart. This is why Jesus could sleep in the boat while the storm raged around Him. The disciples panicked, but He was anchored. Why? Because He knew who held the waves in His hands. That same peace is being released over your life. The storm may not end immediately, but you will rest differently in it. You will face it with confidence, not fear. And peace leads to resilience. Resilience is not about being hard or unfeeling, it's about being rooted. It's about having a strength that grows deeper, not weaker, under pressure. Like a pillar holding up a structure, God is making you into a steady presence for others. People around you will feel it. They will see the calm in your eyes when the world is shaking. They will sense the weight of heaven in your words when everything else is uncertain. That is the power of peace and resilience combined. It doesn't just carry you, it carries those who are watching you. But don't miss, this resilience requires recalibration. It requires you to let go of things that drain your energy and distract your focus. On the 1st of September 2025, you'll feel God tugging at your heart to drop what no longer serves your calling. The endless busyness, the shallow pursuits, the voices that don't align with His truth, all of it must fade so that your energy is reserved for His plan. It's like tuning an instrument. Over time, the strings go out of tune, and the music doesn't sound right. But when the instrument is recalibrated, every note becomes beautiful again. That's what God is doing with your priorities. He's tuning your heart back to His frequency so your life becomes a symphony of purpose. This is not a call to do more, it's a call to do less but with greater focus, to cut out the clutter and put your energy into what truly matters: His kingdom, His calling, His presence. And as you do, you'll find your strength increasing, your clarity sharpening, your joy deepening. Chosen one, don't underestimate what God can do through a life anchored in peace, built with resilience and aligned with His plan. This isn't just about surviving the storm, it's about thriving in it. It's about becoming the kind of person who shines as a beacon for others, not because life is easy, but because God's peace is undeniable. On the 1st of September 2025, you will step into this reality. You will stand like a mountain, rooted like a tree, steady like a pillar, and anchored like a ship secure in the storm. And the world will know this is not ordinary strength. This is the strength that comes from the Lord, chosen one. One of the most powerful ways God moves in our lives is through divine connection. When His Spirit is at work, He doesn't just shift things inside of you, He begins to align the people around you. On the 1st of September 2025, many of you will begin to notice this supernatural alignment. It won't be random, it won't be a coincidence. It will be the hand of God orchestrating relationships, partnerships, and mentorships that are essential for your next season. Some of you have been trying to do everything alone. You've been carrying the weight by yourself and it's been heavy. But the truth is, no chosen one walks this journey alone. Moses had Aaron, David had Jonathan, Paul had Barnabas. Even Jesus surrounded Himself with 12 disciples. Why? Because destiny is never a solo assignment. God calls you, but He also equips you with people who will walk with you, strengthen you, and hold you accountable when the battles get fierce. On the 1st of September 2025, doors of connection will begin to swing open. You may meet a mentor who speaks wisdom you've been longing for. You may find a partner who carries a gift that perfectly complements yours. You may discover friends who don't just walk beside you but remind you of who you are when you forget. These connections won't be forced. You won't have to beg for them. They'll flow naturally because God is the one setting the table. And when He sets the table, no one can cancel your invitation. This is where Revelation 3:8 comes alive. I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. Chosen one, hear this clearly. The door God is opening for you in this season is not subject to the opinions of people, the attacks of the enemy, or the doubts in your own heart. If God says the door is open, it is open. Period. No one can close it. And these open doors will not just be symbolic. They will be tangible opportunities. Some of you will step into jobs you never thought you could have. Some of you will enter platforms where your voice will carry further than you imagined. Others will see doors of ministry, doors of creativity, or doors of influence swing wide before you. And here's the beautiful truth: you don't have to kick them open. You don't have to manipulate your way through. You simply have to walk in faith when God says go. Imagine a ship that has been waiting in the harbor. For months, maybe even years, it's been tied down, anchored, waiting for the right wind. And then suddenly the wind shifts, the sails fill, and the ship begins to move effortlessly forward. That's what divine opportunity feels like. It's not striving. It's not forcing. It's flowing. On the 1st of September 2025, many of you will feel this shift, like the wind of heaven filling your sails, propelling you into places you could never reach in your own strength. But let me warn you, not every door is from God. That's why discernment is so critical. Some doors look shiny on the outside, but lead to dead ends. Others require you to compromise who you are just to get in. Those are not your doors. The open doors God sets before you are aligned with His Word, His Spirit, and His purpose for your life. They may require faith, they may require courage, but they will never require you to betray the truth of who God says you are. And here's something to remember: when new connections and new doors open, old ones may close. That's not rejection, it's redirection. Some people who walked with you in the last season may not be called to walk with you in the next. Some opportunities that once made sense will no longer fit where God is taking you. Don't fight to hold on to what God is removing. Trust Him. If He's closing a door, it's because He's opening one better. So let me ask you this: are you ready to recognize the people God is sending into your life? Are you prepared to walk through the doors He's unlocking? Too many miss their moment because they're too focused on the doors that slammed shut, or they don't trust the new relationships He's placing in front of them. Don't let that be you. Open your heart, open your eyes, and be ready. On the 1st of September 2025, you will begin to see that your story is not just about you. It's about the connections God ordains, the doors He opens, and the opportunities He orchestrates for His glory. You will find yourself saying, "There's no way I could have arranged this. This had to be God." And that's the point. So that when you walk through the world, seize not your strength but His chosen one. The winds are shifting, the doors are opening, the people are aligning. Get ready, because the flow of heaven is about to carry you forward in ways you couldn't imagine. Step into it with faith, with courage, and with expectation. Because when God connects you and opens doors before you, nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what He has ordained. Chosen one, there comes a moment in every divine journey when courage can no longer stay hidden. On the 1st of September 2025, that moment will rise within you. A boldness will awaken, not arrogance, not pride, but the quiet, unshakable courage that comes when you know you are standing in the truth of God. For too long, many of you have held back your voice, staying silent when you were called to speak, shrinking when you were created to shine. But the fire of the Spirit will not allow you to remain silent any longer. Your words will carry weight, your presence will bring light, and your courage will ripple outward, touching lives in ways you never imagined. Think about a lantern in the night. Its glow may seem small compared to the vast darkness, but to the traveler searching for direction, that little flame is everything. That's what you are becoming, a lantern of truth. Your life will shine in places where others are stumbling, unsure of where to turn. And your words, simple as they may be, will act like that, guiding light, steady and sure. But it won't stop there. The Spirit is calling you not just to be a lantern, but a lighthouse. A lighthouse stands tall in the storm, unshaken by crashing waves, unmoved by fierce winds. Its light cannot be ignored, and its very presence saves lives. That is the kind of influence God is awakening in you. But let me ask you, what have you been too afraid to say? What truths have you buried deep because you feared rejection, ridicule, or misunderstanding? Those are the very truths God is pulling to the surface. You see, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to speak, even when fear whispers that you should stay quiet. Jeremiah felt unqualified, yet God told him, "Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you and will rescue you." That same assurance is for you. When you speak what He places in your heart, His authority will back every word. And this courage won't just be in your voice, it will be in your movement, your influence, your life as a whole. Imagine a rising tide. Slowly, steadily, it climbs higher, covering ground it once could not reach. That's how the courage of God works in you. At first it may feel small, a whisper, a gentle nudge, to speak truth to a friend, to take a step of faith at work, to pray out loud when you once stayed silent. But soon, like the tide, it will rise. Your courage will become undeniable, advancing into places you never thought you could go. Or think of a wildfire spreading across dry land. A single spark ignites it, and suddenly it moves with unstoppable force. The fire you carry is like that spark. It will spread not in destruction, but in transformation. Your courage will ignite courage in others. People watching you will say, "If they can step out, maybe I can too." That is how revival begins, not with grand events, but with one voice, one life burning brightly for God. And then there is the wind. Picture a great ship with its sails hanging loose, going nowhere until the wind begins to blow. Once it does, that ship is propelled forward with strength and speed it never could produce on its own. That's what courage will feel like for you. In this new season, a holy wind filling your sails, carrying you further than you could ever row by yourself. You'll look back and realize, this wasn't me pushing. This was God propelling. And finally, imagine the butterfly. Once bound in the cocoon, it pushes struggles, breaks free, and spreads wings that were hidden all along. That's you, chosen one. The courage rising in you is not foreign. It's been there waiting, hidden under layers of doubt and fear. But now in this season, it's breaking out. You are being freed to soar, to live without apology, to move in the freedom Christ has given you. So I'll ask again, are you ready to let courage rise? Are you prepared to use your voice to shine your light, to become the lighthouse others are searching for? Don't underestimate what God can do through one willing life. Don't silence the truth He has planted in you. Don't shrink back when He is calling you to stand tall. On the 1st of September, 2025, many of you will feel the undeniable urge to speak, to say what others are afraid to say, to declare God's promises even when the world mocks them, to remind people that hope is alive. You'll feel the courage not just to speak truth, but to live it boldly and unapologetically. And when you do, you will see the tide rise, the fire spread, the wind push, and the butterfly soar. This is your time, chosen one. The world is waiting for your light. Let courage rise. Let your voice be heard. Stand as the lighthouse God has created you to be, and watch how many lives are guided safely to shore, because you refuse to stay silent. Chosen one of the greatest truths we must embrace is that God works by seasons. Nothing in the kingdom is rushed, and nothing in the kingdom is wasted. The 1st of September, 2025, will not be the end of your journey. It will be the beginning of a new one. Think of it as the first fruits of a harvest, the early glimpse of what is coming. Too often we want everything to change overnight. We pray one prayer and expect the entire landscape of our lives to shift instantly. But God is not in the business of quick fixes. He is in the business of transformation. And transformation happens through process, through timing, through seasons that build upon each other. Look at nature. A farmer doesn't plant seeds today and expects a full field of crops tomorrow. He tills the ground, he waters, he waits, he nurtures, and he trusts the process. The first sprout is not the full harvest. It's simply a sign that the harvest is on its way. That's what the 1st of September will be for you. A sprout breaking through the soil, a visible sign that what God planted in you is alive, growing, and unstoppable. It's not the end. It's the beginning of a greater season, one that will unfold in waves of blessing, breakthrough, and purpose. But here's the truth many don't like to hear: with every season comes testing. When the winds of change blow, they often stir up fear and pressure. And if you felt that fear rising in your spirit, if you felt the weight pressing down on you, don't mistake it for failure. Take it as confirmation that you're headed in the right direction. Resistance always meets those who are about to break through. Just as a seed feels the crushing weight of the soil before it bursts forth into the light, you may feel the heaviness of pressure before the promise fully manifests. Let me ask you, have you been discouraged because things don't look like they're moving fast enough? Have you felt frustrated because you thought God would change everything in a moment, but instead, He's been working layer by layer, piece by piece? If so, take heart. That slowness is not delay, it's design. God is ensuring your roots go deep so that when the winds come, you will not be uprooted. He is preparing you for longevity, not just a flash of glory that fades overnight. Remember what Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." That word season is important. It means that your breakthrough has an appointed time. And the 1st of September 2025 is not just a random date, it is a marker, the unveiling of your due season. But the harvest beyond it will continue to grow as you walk in faith step by step, day by day. Now let's talk about faith in action. Too many people confuse faith with feelings. They think they need to feel confident in order to move. But faith isn't about feelings, it's about action. Hebrews 11 reminds us that faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Faith moves even when fear whispers. Faith acts even when the outcome isn't visible. Faith steps out even when the ground beneath looks shaky. Think of Peter stepping out of the boat. He didn't wait until the water felt solid. He stepped while it was still liquid, while it still looked impossible. And as long as his eyes were fixed on Jesus, he walked on what should have drowned him. That's the kind of faith God is calling you into in this season. You may feel pressure, you may feel fear, but those feelings are not signs to turn back. They are signs to move forward. The very presence of resistance is evidence that the enemy sees what's coming and is terrified of it. I want you to imagine your life like a field right now. The 1st of September will be that moment when you begin to see green breaking through the dirt. But don't stop there. Don't assume that's all God has for you. It's only the first fruits, and the harvest to come will be greater than anything you've envisioned. What you see on that day is a promise of more, a glimpse of what's unfolding. But the fullness will require your continued faith, your continued obedience, your continued courage to keep showing up and trusting God's process. So, chosen one, don't despise the small beginnings. Don't become impatient when things don't look massive at first. Remember, every towering tree started as a fragile sprout. Every mighty river began as a trickle. Every great move of God started with a single yes. Your yes today is building momentum for tomorrow. Your step of faith this season is unlocking doors for the next. And when fear rises, and it will let it remind you that you're stepping into destiny. When pressure feels heavy, let it remind you that something new is about to be born. Labor pains don't mean death. They mean life is about to enter the world. In the same way, the spiritual contractions you feel now are proof that God is birthing something through you that will outlast you. On the 1st of September 2025, expect the sprout. Expect the shift. Expect the sign that you're stepping into a season unlike any other. But also know this, it's only the beginning. The greater harvest lies ahead, and the key that will unlock it is your faith in action. So keep moving, keep believing, keep sowing, because the Lord of the harvest has already marked your life, and what He started, He will finish. Chosen one, let me leave you with this. The 1st of September 2025 is not just another date on a calendar. It is a heavenly marker, a divine appointment where heaven collides with earth to awaken the identity that has been written over you since before time began. It is the moment when the seal of your calling becomes visible, when the purpose God planted deep within your spirit is activated in a way that can no longer be ignored. This is not hype. This is not a coincidence. This is destiny meeting its appointed hour. But here's the truth: you cannot just watch this day pass by and expect everything to fall into place automatically. The kingdom doesn't work that way. God's promises are certain, but they always require our response. And your response in this season is critical. What does He ask of you? Surrender. To lay down your fear, your doubt, your control, and say, Lord, I am yours. Use me. It is not about having every answer or every plan. It is about having a willing heart that says yes when God calls. Think of it like a door. Revelation 3:8 says, See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. The 1st of September is that open door. But here's the thing, you still have to walk through it. No one else can do it for you. No mentor, no friend, no preacher, no family member. It's your door, chosen one, and it's waiting for your faith to step across the threshold. On the other side is not just blessing, but assignment. Not just comfort, but commissioning. You are being invited into a life where your words carry weight, where your actions shift atmospheres, where your very presence becomes a testimony of the living God. That means from this moment forward, your life cannot stay the same. You are called to speak when others stay silent, to create when others destroy, to lead when others shrink back, to serve with light when the world grows darker by the day. This is the mantle being placed on your shoulders. It is not always easy, but it is always worth it. And every trial you've walked through, every fire, every storm, every night of tears was preparation for this weight of glory. So how do you stand firm as this shift begins? By holding fast to 4 unshakable anchors. First, clarity of discernment. God is giving you eyes to see what is true and what is counterfeit, who belongs in your circle and who does not. Trust that discernment. Second, peace that cannot be shaken. Even as the world trembles, you will feel a calm like an anchor in your soul because you know who holds your life. Third, divine connections. God is bringing the right people, the right partners, the right mentors into alignment with your calling. He's arranging your steps so that you don't walk this path alone. And finally, faith in action. Not faith that sits still, but faith that moves, faith that acts, faith that takes God at His word and walks boldly into the unknown. Remember, every test you've faced has been fire refining you, shaping you, strengthening you for impact. Nothing has been wasted. The enemy thought those battles would break you, but instead, they built you. You are walking into the 1st of September, not empty-handed, but equipped, refined, sharpened, ready to be used for eternal impact. And here's what you must understand: this impact will outlive you. The way you respond now doesn't just change your life. It changes your family, your community, generations to come. You are not just carrying light for yourself. You are carrying light for those who are stumbling in the dark, for those who need hope, for those who don't yet know that God has written their story too. Chosen one, the time for hesitation is over. This is your call to rise, to surrender, to step through the door, to speak with courage, to create with vision, to lead with integrity, to serve with love, to let your life be a beacon pointing others back to the Creator who called you. And if you feel this stirring in your spirit right now, don't let the moment pass. Declare it, claim it, act on it. Right now, pause and type 777 the comments below. That number is not just digits, it is the symbol of divine completion, the sign that you are stepping into a season where God finishes what He started. Let heaven know you are ready. Let the enemy know you are not turning back. Let your own soul know you are committed to this new chapter. And while you're here, take one more step of faith. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you can walk this journey alongside thousands of other chosen ones across the world. You are not alone in this. Together we are stepping into alignment with heaven's timetable. Together we are rising into the call God has placed on our generation. The 1st of September, 2025, is not just a date, it is a destiny. Step into it, surrender to it, and watch how God transforms your life into a living testimony that no one can deny. This is your moment, chosen one. The door is open. Walk through it with faith and step into the season you were born for.